So those who can't join on Zoom or will not able to make it today, they usually catch up on the Zoom sessions. This is just for your information, and we are live on Zoom now. Hare Krishna. Let me share my screen. Hopefully you will remember we have a presentation which we go through. Hare Krishna. And I've just noticed we got somebody new today called Nandini. Hare Krishna, Nandini.
Yeah, hi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So good to have you here. And Nandini, you been here before?
No, I just got a link from one of my friend that Bhagavad Gītā is happening for kids. So I thought I could, that this could be helpful for my daughter. She's just 4 years old.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so my kids, they are a bit older now, but they started when they were of that age. So we've been doing sessions for a while now, and this is the second time or third time, I think, when we are starting. We have recently started from the beginning, so this is a good point. Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Feel free. So, as I said, some of the Hare Krishna. Okay. If I hope Nandini is the name of your daughter.
No, it's my name.
It's your name.
Yeah. My daughter name is Venpa.
Venpa. Okay, nice name. Hare Krishna. And we go here as well. Yes. So welcome, Parul, Shivani. Oh, it's Trisha. Trisha. Prisha. Am I reading it wrong? It says Parul there.
Yeah, but it's Prisha is the name.
Okay, it says Parul, but Prisha has joined. Oh, right, of course, yes. Yeah, sometimes parents, they join with their names. That's where I get confused. But welcome you all. Let's get started. So this is the overview of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We have done verse by verse in the past. We have done 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in 18 sessions. But this is the second time we are doing the overview, even though we go into detail as and when required. And as you know, we cover a lot of stories. So hope you would enjoy. And I have Aryan and Shivani here sitting with me as well. So they will be chipping now and then. As you know, they usually do. They share their stories or they share their own experiences because they've been reading for a while as well. And if you have anything to share, feel free at any point. Any question, if you like to, feel free to ask. It's always good to hear. Hare Krishna. So let's get started. We always start the sessions from Mangla Charan. Mangla is auspicious and Charan is for the feet. So the way we always say that in spiritual progress, in any, even in material, like when we go to the school, we learn from the teacher. And in Vedic culture, in Indian culture, the students always touch the feet of the teachers to get the blessings. And we do in our families as well. We touch the feet of our parents, our elders, and they bless us. So Mangala Charan is the collection of all those prayers which we put together where we seek the blessings before we start. These are in Sanskrit. You might have done it before with us. If you know them, if you can read them, feel free to recite them with me. Otherwise, you could listen, and maybe in future sessions, you can recite with me. Right? So we start with Om. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं Shri Gurun Shri Yudapadakamulam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitam Shah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhesh. Hare Krishna everyone. So we have been doing the overview of Bhagavad Gita for few classes now. We have gone through all these boxes and we have done a lot of stories behind. So if in case you're joining first time or you missed one of those sessions, you could follow the YouTube link and the previous sessions are there. A lot of stories, how these characters from Bhagavatam, from Mahabharata, they connect to each other, were discussed. A lot of stories in detail. So just to give you an overview so we could continue, that there was one king Kuru and then followed many ancestors. At the end we got Dhritarashtra and then Dhritarashtra's sons, and then Pandu his brother, Dhritarashtra brother Pandu, and then Pandu's sons. Now for various reasons, a battle, a big, massive war is going to happen between the sons of Dhritarashtra, led by Duryodhan, and then 5 sons of Pandu called Pandavas. And then Arjun's sister Subhadra, Arjun's wife Subhadra is the sister of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna is a friend and relative, as we can see, of Arjun. And we see how Arjun accepts Lord Krishna as his mentor in Bhagavad Gita. And then Arjun asks lots of questions in Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, and Krishna gives a lot of replies. These questions Arjun asked were on behalf of us. And all the replies Lord Krishna gives to Arjun, they are supposed to be for us. So even though Bhagavad Gita was said roughly 5,005 years back, the answers, the questions, the dialogue, the conversation is still so much valid now. And that's where we are. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 chapters being split into 3 categories. First 6, Karma Yoga, the actions. In between, Bhakti Yoga, the devotion. And the last ones, Jnana, the knowledge. And we will do all of them one by one. So I will whiz through some of the slides because we have done them. And again, if you have missed them, they are on YouTube, so feel free. So we will recap from here, because where we will continue is where Arjun asked Krishna to take his chariot in between 2 armies. Remember, one side, the Duryodhan army is there, and another side Pandav's army is there, and Pandavs are five. One of the Pandavs was Arjun. So Arjun said to his charioteer, who happens to be Krishna. Now, why Krishna? Again, another story which we have covered in past. But Krishna is the charioteer, the driver of Arjun, and Arjun requested Krishna to take his chariot in between two armies. But what happens then? Once he's in the middle of both armies, he sees both armies, and then he gets a bit confused and bewildered. And that's where I will request Aryan to pitch in. Aryan, would you like to share some of your views, please?
Yes, so Arjun, after seeing his other half, his cousins and his family on the other side of the battlefield that he's going to be fighting, he got filled with lots of compassion in why he was going to have to kill them. And yeah.
Great, thanks. So at this point, when Arjun was there in the middle of both armies, he saw all his cousins and relatives, all of them on either side. They all were there. And then he just thought, what's the point of fighting? Because whether we are going to lose or win, because obviously if the battle, the war will happen, only one of these two things could happen. Either you will win or you will lose. Either side, he's going to lose a lot of relatives and friends and family members. And then he gives 5 reasons to Krishna why he should not fight. The very first one is compassion. He says, I have a compassion for all of these. And from Bhagavad Gītā, chapter 1, verses 20th to 27, in those 8 verses, Arjun explains through compassion why he should not win. So this is a theme in those 8 verses. But moving forward, so that's where we see number 1 reason, compassion. And a lot of times it happens, we don't want to do things in our life because of compassion. We have a compassion for someone and we don't want to do it. Classic example, we travel and we might end up in a country where there are many mosquitoes. And we don't want to kill mosquitoes. Why? Because we have compassion. But what should we do then? Because the mosquito is going to bite us, and similar thing could happen with many other insects, many animals. And if we are a police person, if we are a judge, due to compassion, maybe we don't want to give punishment to anyone. Or what we should do in that case, because of course we need to deliver the justice as well. And that's where the question of this compassion comes in, which all of us face now and then. Now, moving on to the next one, of course, how we know the compassion, and in those verses, moving forward from verse 28, 29, and 38, these verses, the symptoms are given that what happens to his body. And this happens to us as well, that when we get confused in our life, we might get stressed, anxious, and we can't speak. Our whole body starts trembling. If we have to give a public speaking somewhere, deliver a speech, we feel like things are going down. The words are not coming out. Similar things, similar symptoms Arjun faced. So we do face these kind of things. But Arjun is going to give all those 5 reasons and Krishna is going to reply back at the end. But let's see what are the other reasons Krishna listens from Arjun. So Arjun, after compassion, he gives the second reason.
So the second reason, which is enjoyment. So when he goes ahead and kills his relatives, his cousins, who will he be able to enjoy with? Because he used to play with them, he used to learn with them. After killing them, he will not get any enjoyment after killing them and while killing them.
Does this happen in our life as well?
Yes.
Yeah. How, if in case we would like to do something, let's say we would like to go for a movie. If we just go alone, it's not much fun. We want to enjoy with our friends, with our family members, don't we? Whenever, for example, the cricket is going on these days, what do we want to do? We would like to watch with everyone. right? When the friends are around, family members are around, if the best movie, our favorite movie we enjoy, it's good if the friends are around, right? And this is what he's saying. Arjuna is saying, what will we do winning this battle, winning this war, getting all the wealth, if all our family members are going to die? So the first one is compassion, and the next one is enjoyment. Due to compassion, I don't want to fight. And then if I think of the enjoyment, I will not able to enjoy because a lot of friends and family is going to die. Hence, I should not fight. And then the third reason, which Arjun gives,
is destruction of family, which also links to enjoyment, because when destruction of family, you're killing the, like it says on the slides, senior members of the dynasty. So when Arjun kills his cousins, then he's killing his family's line goes down.
true, very true. Thanks. So if you think about it, now the next reason he gives, that in the battle, most of the people, at least in those days, used to be men. And if the men going to fight and they are going to die, what will happen to their families? What will happen to the wife? What will happen to the children? Who is going to earn for the family? Who is going to give the tradition? Who is going to give the cultural values to the family? How the family will be supported? Which means if all these people will die, then the family tradition in the society will die, and hence it says the destruction of the families. Family will get destructed, the tradition will get destructed. So the first one is the compassion, second one is the enjoyment, and the third one is the destruction of the family traditions. And then we move on to the fourth reason.
Fear of sinful reactions. So when you, let's say, lie, you get bad karma. And when you kill someone, you get even more bad karma, and you're going to get the reactions of it. So if you kill someone, something bad, very bad will happen to you. So that's what karma is. So he was scared of getting sinful reactions because he would have killed 100 of his brothers, at least 100 of his brothers, which gives a lot of bad karma.
Right. Thank you. So now this is what the next reason, the excuse which Arjun thinks of. He says that if I'm going to kill all these people, then killing your teachers, because as we have seen before, his own teacher, Dronacharya. So Acharya, his own teacher was there, and who is in the opposite team. If he will kill his own teacher, that's very bad. We are not even supposed to speak back to our teachers, never mind killing. But if he would need to win, he will have to kill. What will happen then? Think about it. What will happen then? I will get a lot of sinful reaction, and which I wouldn't like to. And this is what's happening. That fear of sinful reaction. He said, I'm going to get sinful reactions. So far we have seen the four. The way we could remember is C, then D, E, and F. If you remember, so we have the alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F. Start from C, D, E, F. Those four. So C for compassion, then D for destruction, E for enjoyment, and F for fear of sinful reactions. C, D, E, F. Those four reasons were given. And then as we will move forward, we will see the next reason which Arjun will say. Arjun says, I'm overwhelmed with the grief because he's thinking of so many reasons. And doesn't this happen in our life? We discuss a lot of things, and then at the end we decide, I can't do this. No, I can't do it. It's too hard. So many things going on. I can't do it. And if you see, Krishna is still listening. Now he has left. He had a bow and arrow. He left his bow and arrow. He's crying. And that's where chapter 2 starts. So far we've been doing chapter 1. Chapter 2, the very first time Krishna said something. Krishna said, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. So Arjun thought, wow, that's what Krishna is saying, but he doesn't understand what that means. Hence, he asked a follow-up question. He said, how can I counterattack Bhishma, who is my great-great-grandfather, and Drona, who is my teacher, who are worthy of my worship? I should worship my elders. How can I fight them? And then, chapter 2, verse 7, is where Arjun surrenders, because at the end, the last reason, so remember C, D, E, F, 4 reasons: compassion, C, D for destruction of family, E for enjoyment, and F for the fear of sinful reactions. And now the last one, he says, because of C, D, E, F, I am indecisive. So the last reason is, he says, I'm indecisive. I cannot fight. I cannot decide whether I would like to fight or I wouldn't like to fight. And then verse 7 is where, and this is the very first verse we will see, where we will learn Sanskrit as well. We will start reciting it. But the translation is, well, may I request Arvind?
Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me what for certain is best for me. Now I am a disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So this is the first time. So far, Arjun, he has been giving reasons to Krishna. But this is the first time he surrenders to Krishna. He says, please, you guide me. I'm confused. If you could guide me, that would be great. And now, let us quickly see the verse which we would like to do. And I will get to that verse, which is, and let me just stop this sharing. And I will share another screen. And then that screen, we have, let me share this screen and we will do, let's do this verse. And so we will do it together. Feel free if you like to. Otherwise, you can recite, and we will recite it 3 times. This is a big verse, but we have the Sanskrit. So this is a Sanskrit itself, if you know how to read Sanskrit. Otherwise, this is in English as well. So we can read the Sanskrit written in English. We will do it slowly. So it says, Karpanya dosho patas sabhava prachami tvam dharma samuna cheta yacheshyam nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste amshadimam tam prapannam. So, Karpanya dosho upahata sabhava prachami tvam dharma samuna cheta yachesham nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteyam shadimam tvam prapannam. Let's do it one more time, and then we'll go in detail, and maybe we will see the translation as well, which Arvind read just now. So let's do it together. Karpanya dosho patastabhava prachami tvam dharma samuna cheta yachesham nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteyam shadimam tvam prapannam. Hare Krishna. So this is the very first verse, Bhagavad Gītā, chapter 2, verse 7. And if you'd like to look for, and I will share this link in the Zoom and in WhatsApp group as well, and on YouTube Live also. But this is the link which is available on Veda Base website, or in Google. If you just type Bhagavad Gītā BG 2.7, just BG 2.7, if you type, you will hopefully get the very first link from this website, which is Veda Base and vedabase.io. The whole library, there are many free books there. Bhagavad Gītā as it is one of them, chapter 2, verse 7. And if you start revising it, read it a few times, maybe ask your parents to do it, you will be surprised at how quickly we all learn the Sanskrit verses. So now, if we go further, and we will see that if we really like to learn Sanskrit, then what we do have here is the word by word translation. So we have in Sanskrit, karpanya, what does that it means? Dosha, and then what does that it means? If you see the very first one, karpanya dosha, and then we go upatasya bhava. Each word has been translated into English by Srila Prabhupada ji. Each word. And this is the beauty. We can go, if I change the default to show in advanced view, we will see the whole chapter 2. And because I was on text 7, it will automatically take me to 7. And now if somebody doesn't want to see the Sanskrit, maybe because we don't really know, it's a Devanagari script, we can just take it away. But we would like to see if synonyms is there, if you would like to take word to word away, but it's really good to have it when you try to understand it. And so this is the beauty. If you like to learn Sanskrit, that this is one of the way we could do it. This is what the translation itself is. Now I'm confused about my duty. So Arjun is saying that. Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. Because he himself says that because of my weaknesses. Now, remember, we have said it a few times that his weakness was not weaknesses in his body or in his brain. He still had the physical strength and he was still clever and smart. That weakness came in his mind, right? So a lot of time it happens mentally we go down, and Bhagavad Gita helps us in that. Krishna didn't give any new weapon to Arjun. Arjun had all the weapons, all the learnings he did from his teacher, who was Dronacharya, who happened to be in the opposite side. But mentally he got very weak. In this condition, Arjun says, I'm asking you, to Krishna, to tell me for certain what is best for me. So it's really good to have a teacher. And if you don't have Bhagavad Gita as it is with you, I would recommend to have a small book. And if you don't, let me know. I can help you to have one. And then read maybe just one verse every day. One verse every day. And Krishna is helping Arjun. And through those question and answers, we will get such a clarity in our life what we should or what we shouldn't do. So he's saying, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. And then when Krishna will reply back to Arjun, those replies will help us. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. And we learn from it that if we should ask someone for help, we don't fight with the person. We don't argue with the person. We surrender. We humbly say that I seek your advice. Not that, oh, right, okay, you just let me know what's good for you. You know, sometimes kids do that. They don't really want to give credits to their parents anymore. And they say, okay, if you say so. No, we are surrendered to our teachers and say, okay, I know you are much more knowledgeable than me. Hence, I would like to seek your advice. And of course, Krishna gives all this information, all the wisdom to Arjun, and then all the wisdom is there for Arjun to make the decisions in his life. Whether he makes the decisions or not is his choice, and it always remains his choice. So similarly, it's not a forceful wisdom, it's the wisdom which helps us when we need it. So we will go back to our presentation. So I'll just stop sharing. And we'll go back where we were, which is here. So again, chapter 2, verse 7, Karpanya dosho upatasya bhava. Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. And this is the translation of that verse. And try to do that verse, and we will come back to that verse. And this is another beautiful verse. And maybe we just keep one verse at a time. So this verse, In Sanskrit, we will do it next time, which is chapter 2, verse 13. So if you see 2.7 and then straight away we moved on 2.13, because in general, it's a thematic way. Remember, we are doing overview. We are not going shloka by shloka, which we have done it before, but it takes much longer. So this time we thought, okay, for those who just want to do, I know on YouTube Live, many of you are watching, and it takes much longer to have every verse. So this time we have decided to do thematic, based on themes. So now the very knowledge. So Krishna hasn't started speaking yet. Only now Krishna has started speaking. So which means Krishna is going to give all the wisdom to Arjuna. And this is the very first wisdom which Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Arjun, could you read it, please?
As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Hare Krishna. Yes. So if you see the very first thing which we learn from Bhagavad Gītā, the very first knowledge is the knowledge of soul. Because this body goes away a lot of times, but we stay together, right? Somehow, because we believe in reincarnation. Arun, do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes, I believe.
So how? It's very interesting. Sometimes it could be a debate. A lot of people debate on it. So any reason why do you believe in reincarnation?
Because of this verse.
Because of this verse?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I wonder what Shivani or Patricia thinks about it. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Shivani, do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, I do, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Any particular reason why? Have you heard stories that somebody who was born remember everything about the previous life?
No, I think you don't remember your previous life.
Okay, all right. But some people claim when they were little, they remembered it, and of course, when they gradually growing up, they forgot everything later. But yes, that's right. That's right. Thanks. I just thought I will ask, and it's good to hear everyone's views. So similarly, what Krishna is basically saying here, like what somebody told me, I remember a friend of mine who was doing his medical, and later on I found out that it was real, that the size of our eyes, since we are born, everything else, our hands, our fingers, our bodies, our ears, our nose, all these body parts, they grow. Right? As we can see in this slide, a baby was there who was crawling, and then baby became a bit grown up, started walking, and then became like what we call teenager, young adult, and then became old, and then started growing down, and one day died. So the body, as we know, develops, but so all the body parts, they go in the transformation as well. They grow and then they decay. But the size of our eyes, I have been told, that never changes. Such an interesting thing. If you haven't ever thought or heard about it, maybe do a little bit of research and let me know next time, or maybe now if you know. Is it true? Somebody told me, and I did a bit of research, and I found out that that seems to be true. But tell you what, something else doesn't change, which is us. Of course, our brain changes because we move from year 2 to year 3 to year 4, and hopefully our wisdom is changing. We are getting more clever. We didn't know the timetable. We know the timetable now. The vocabulary, everything else is getting better and better. But that's only brain. But who really we are? So if you believe our scriptures, it says we are soul. So soul is that source which makes the body move. Analogy we give, is the analogy of driver and the car. You remember that analogy, Arun?
Yes.
So who is soul and who is
Driver is the soul and the car is the body, because you can keep changing cars, but the driver doesn't change.
okay, great. So for example, we have a car. Car will not move unless there is a driver. Similarly, we will see when people die, the body is there, but something is gone. It's like the car is there, but the driver is gone. Once the driver is gone, the body will not move, the car will not move. Similarly, if the soul is gone out of the body is considered as dead body. Why? Because the source is gone, and that source is soul. And that soul does not change, but move from one body to another. For example, we had one car, same person was driving that car, and then one day we will decide to change the car. And then the same driver will get into a new car. Very similar. The soul is same, but that soul will move from one body to another. And this is the verse which saying, as the embodied soul, so the soul which is in the body continuously passes in this body, because the body is moving from boyhood to youth to old age. So the body is growing up, but the soul is still the same. The soul similarly passes into another body at death. So at the time of death, the soul moves into the new body. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So those of us who understand this, who learn this Bhagavad Gita, we are considered as the sober people. We understand. For example, somebody said to me, oh, the winter is coming. Yeah, that's true. But winter will go away as well. So the summer, so the autumn, so the spring. Because all these are weathers and they are ever changing. So what's the point of getting and feeling sorry about them, right? Similarly, this body will go sooner or later anyways. So what's the point of crying over them? And this is the point. This is why it's been mentioned here, right? Anything you would like to add on this, Arun or Shivani? On this point, any thoughts?
No.
Right?
No.
Right. If you think about it, this point makes us very happy. Why? Because it's like we cry on losing a toy, right? But we know that toys sooner or later will go anyways. Doesn't really matter how expensive the toys are. And the older you grow, the toys become very expensive. The toy could be your car, the toy could be your house, the toy could be your holiday, the toy could be your iPhone, right? The toys become very expensive. But those who learn Bhagavad Gita, they understand that they have the key to happiness, and Bhagavad Gita provides that key. So it's the eligibility for liberation. Liberation is like the happiness. So we can tolerate happiness and distress, because this verse says, like the seasons change, happiness and distress, they come and go. We can't really do much about it. If we are happy now, at some point we will be sad again. If you are sad now, at some point definitely we will be happy. Anybody knows the story of everything happens for good? No? Okay. All right. So we promise I will request Arun or Shivani to put some slides together like we usually do. And maybe we'll do a story today, which we did it in the past, because this is chapter 2. And very soon we are going to move on to the next topic, which is Karma Yoga, which is the knowledge of action. And there is a story on it. Maybe we do that. We have done this story before. Maybe we'll do it today. And then next week, we will do another story, which is everything happens for good. Everything happens for good. Whether we think it's sadness or happiness, but everything happens for our own good. But Bhagavad Gita is very essential for our life. If we like to go above this temporary happiness and distress. If you like to be eternal, happy in all the circumstances, right? All the circumstances, COVID, job loss, house loss, family member loss, nothing could make us unhappy if we have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. How? We are going to see it. Now, the characteristics of soul is given. A lot of characteristics are given here, right? 30 characteristics are given. Now, we will not go into detail, but this slide is there with you. If you like to take a picture, you could have it. I will share this on WhatsApp as well. I will actually share it right now because somebody said to me in past that I forgot. I didn't share last time, so I will take this now. Okay. All right, so if you are on WhatsApp, you're going to get this, or you can take the snap now. Discuss it with your parents, your friends. This is all about us because we are soul. We think we are this body. It's like the car is moving. Imagine if your father or mother driving the car towards you, right? They are coming to pick you up, and you're waiting. And they see car is coming and the driver is there. The driver is your parent. If somebody will ask, who is there? Who is this? What are you going to say? This is a car, or you're going to say, this is my father. Even though the father is in the car, mother is in the car, you'll say, my parents are here to pick. You're not going to say, the car is here, which is driven by my parents, and they are here to pick me up. You're just going to say, my parents are here to pick me up. Car is just the means. Similarly, the soul, the body is there as a car, but the soul is the main thing. And that soul is us, right? And then all these characteristics are of soul. And the soul is eternal. And if we are eternal, why do we need to cry for anything? Which means we don't, even if we won't get anything, if we don't achieve anything, we could still be happy. And now and then we cover these points, but when we did it in detail, we did it. We will cover it again as well. But this is the point where maybe we will stop today. Briefly mention this, and then we will get into detail starting from next week. And we will do stories as well, like promised. So very briefly, the difference between all these. So this is this. Okay, maybe another picture of practical application of the knowledge. All right, okay. So what this says is that the whole Bhagavad Gita could be split into these different things. We have already seen the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita could be split into 3. Hare Krishna. So good to have you, Jai. We were
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. All the blessings for you. So we're just revising, and Aaron is just about to do a story which we have done it before. And we have just promised that we will do another story next time, which is the motto we might have heard before, that everything happens for good. But for now, I was just saying that in Bhagavad Gita, we have the Karma Yoga, which is chapter 3, and then Gyan Yoga, chapter 4, and then chapter 5 is Karma Yoga plus Gyan Yoga. Chapter 6 is Ashtanga Yoga, and then we will move from chapter 7 to chapter 12, which is on Bhakti Yoga, devotion. Yoga is the union where the mind and body comes together. And there could be many more reasons. And for us, we could understand it's the knowledge, karma, through the actions, how we could realize God, how we could realize Krishna. And then Jnana Yoga, through the knowledge of Jnana. Jnana itself is a knowledge. Through knowledge, how we could realize Krishna. Ashtanga is like what the yoga we know, physical yoga. But we will see more into it, chapter 6. But the Bhakti Yoga is the main essence of Bhagavad Gita, devotion, how we can become a devotee of Lord Krishna. And then Karma Kanda is the very first thing. When we do all the prayers, all the rituals, but not for spiritual gain, but for material gain. So when we buy a new house, we do the puja. Now, why do we do the puja? Because we want our house to be auspicious. So we can have many happy moments there. We buy a car, we do the puja, so this car will always serve us well. This is all material. But when we learn Bhagavad Gītā, so this knowledge is going to make us devotee, which means we will go beyond happiness and sadness. Then the spirituality stands. So Karma Kanda, doing all those rituals which are only material. However, Karma Kanda could also be making us a spiritual. Now we will see the difference. Right, so as promised, probably this is a good time. And I'm going to stop the... Right, I think I have stopped the sharing, and I'm going to request Aryan to do a story, which I think we have done it before. But good point sharing it now, which is Hare Krishna. Okay, so let me just start sharing, and then I will pass on to Aryan.
Thank you. So this story is the laws of karma. So Krishna was just standing there in the temple, and he was just doing his thing. People were coming, they were giving their wishes, their what they wanted, their prayers, and everything to Krishna. When a devotee came to Krishna and asked him, Krishna, you're always standing there. Why don't you do something different? Or why do you always stand there? Why don't you do something different? Let me take your place for a bit. And then Krishna's like, okay, sure. I'll let you take my place for a bit, but promise me one thing. And the devotee was like, what is it, Krishna? Anything. And then Krishna said, whatever happens, just let it happen. Don't meddle with anything. Just stand like I'm standing right now. Don't say a single thing to anyone and anything that happens.
Yes, thank you. Just to mention, I don't know if you have felt it, but we have discussed this before in the temple, that Krishna is always standing there, right? Whenever you go, Krishna is standing there. And sometimes somebody might have thought, like what Aryan says in this story, one of the devotees said, Krishna, you must be tired of standing there. Why don't you go around, have a look, take a walk? And then Krishna said, who's going to stand at my place? I said, well, it's you just stand. There's nothing much to do. I will stand at your place. Krishna said, okay, we can do that. Let's try that.
And then a rich man comes to Krishna, and now the devotee is taking Krishna's place, standing there as normal, and the rich man doesn't suspect anything because he's really just opening his wallet, taking money out, putting it into the thing, and praying that his business gets better, higher stocks, higher value, he gets richer and richer. And then another poor person comes. A poor person. Sorry. And then a poor person comes to Krishna and he's like, please, Krishna, give me something, please. He closes his eyes and says, Krishna, please give me something to eat. I've not eaten for a very long time. Please, could you please give me something to eat? And then when he opens his eyes, he sees a wallet, the wallet of the rich man. And then the beggar's like, oh, thank you, Krishna, thank you, Krishna. And then he takes the wallet thinking that Krishna placed it there for him. And then another person comes, a sailor. And then the sailor also goes to Krishna and he also prays, oh, please, I haven't seen my family for a long time. I'll be going tonight. Please make the seas calm. Please make everything all right for the journey.
So 3 people they have visited here. The very first one is a rich man who forgot his purse there. The second person, the poor person, who opened his eyes and who found the wallet, and he thought Krishna has given the money, he has taken the money. And then the third person, the Navy officer, came, who's going to go on a sail on a boat for 6 months or so away. And he's just here to seek blessings from Krishna, because a lot of times when we go on a longer journeys, we come around and ask for blessings from Krishna. So 3 people visited. Let's see what happens next.
The devotee saw all of this, and just as the sailor was finishing his prayers, the rich man goes back to the temple, remembering that he left his wallet, and he also calls the police to come there because he's not fully sure whether the wallet is still there. So the rich man goes with the police, and the rich man sees the sailor. So the rich man accuses the sailor, and the sailor gets arrested for stealing the wallet. Just then, the devotee's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. He talks, and then he says that it actually wasn't the sailor who took the wallet, it was the beggar outside. And then the rich man, he gets his wallet back, and the beggar, he goes to jail, and the sailor goes on his way. Then when Krishna comes back from his walk, his little adventure, and then he comes to the door and he says, why did you say anything? Why did you say anything? I told you not to say anything. And he was like, but so much wrong was happening. I don't know how you could stand with it. And then Krishna was like, yes, it's because I have a plan for everything. I've planned everything for everyone. So for the beggar, he had eaten for 3 days. He hadn't eaten for 3 days. And if he didn't eat anymore, he would have died. So that's why I made the rich man leave his wallet. And the rich man left his wallet because he was anyways going to die very soon because of a car accident, of an accident that was going to happen. So leaving his wallet so the beggar could have it. And for the sailor to get falsely accused, so he would spend the time in jail, so that so he wouldn't go onto his boat because there were very choppy seas. He wouldn't be able to make it to his family.
Hare Krishna. So it's such an interesting story. And just to very quickly recap, that when the devotee comes back and Krishna asks devotee that, how was your day? And then devotee said, Krishna, what shall I say? It was such a hard work. I thought you just stand there, but I had to intervene. I know you asked me to be just quiet and witness what's going to happen, like what you do, but I could not do it because that poor person got the money of the rich person, but the sailor who didn't have done anything, he had to go to the jail. I had to say, and then Krishna said, oh no, this was my plan actually. And then when devotee heard, because obviously the rich person was about to die, he didn't have done any good karma. So I wanted him to do good karma, and that's why I made his purse fall down. So even when our purse will fall down, something goes which we think is wrong, Krishna has made it happen. I always think of it. If things are not in our hands, it's Krishna's hands, right? So if the God has made something happen, even though it looks bad initially, at the end, it's always good, because if it doesn't happen according to us, it happens according to Krishna. And then he said the rich person was about to die anyways, so we wanted for him to get some good karma, and the poor person was supposed to die, so I gave money from rich person to the poor person's family. And the sailor was about to go on a long voyage, long ship journey, and that's going to go down, and I wanted to save him. So then devotee said, wow, you really, I thought you just stand there and witness everything. You really interfere in everyone's life? And Krishna said, yes, because I'm your best friend. And this is true for each one of us, that Krishna is there for each one of us, whether we realize or not, right? So the rich person, the poor person, the sailor, none of them realize that Krishna is making all these things happen. But when we pray to Krishna, and we don't even need to pray to Krishna because Krishna realizes it. But of course, when we pray, it's like parents. Parents, they know when the children are hungry, right? Or what children ask. And sometimes as kids, we think how parents find out. It's a very curious thing. I remember when I was a little kid, I was always curious that how my mother understands, even though I haven't said anything. But of course, it's good if I say, and that's why children say, because parents could be busy as well. So even if we pray, that's not bad. But even if we won't pray, Krishna is still going to find out. And Krishna says, and we will cover that part where Krishna says in Bhagavad Gītā, I give my devotees what they need, not what they want, what they need. And sometimes we don't really know. For example, if we are kids and we are asking for ice cream, even though ice cream in cold is not good, we are going to get a bad throat. But if you keep asking the parents, what the parents will say, parents say, no, don't. We might think that it's bad, we are not getting ice cream, chocolate. But these things, if they are not good for us in a lot of quantity, parents saying, no, we should not have it. Similar thing when we grow up, there are other things happen in our life which we don't realize that they are bad for us, but we want them. Just like as a child, we want ice cream. When it's cold, when our throat is already bad, we ask for those things which we think are good for us. But Krishna, as the Supreme Father, knows what's good for us. So if something doesn't happen according to our wish, our desires, remember, Krishna is protecting us very similarly like the parents protect their kids. So remember that Krishna is always there with us. And this is the story of the rich person, the poor person, and the sailor. So thank you, Aryan, for sharing this with us. And with that, I will just request everyone to think of what we have done today, so you can remember it. And remember in Bhagavad Gītā, this story, these wisdom, they come gradually. We need to remember what it is, right? If you have Bhagavad Gītā, one verse every day, and this could change our lives. It could really, and there are so many of others who have experienced it. I could say personally for myself as well. So think of your time, read at least one verse every day, and then we will see the changes happen in our life. So thank you so much for your presence today. I hope you got something out of it. And we did a bit of revision. We saw the story, and we will see another story next time. If you have a story you would like to share, if you have any questions you would like to ask, feel free. Either now, we still have a couple of, oh no, we are right on time. So next time, any story, any experience, feel free. And Jai, if you could make it, we will do a little bit of Kirtan as well, and it will be really good. We always enjoy the Kirtan, so we do together.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhesham. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Blessings for all the kids. You take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next Sunday, 5 p.m. Hare Krishna.